What if I told you that the ancient Romans used to brush their teeth with urine? Yes, you heard that right. Welcome to a journey through the weird and wonderful world of ancient Rome, where the bizarre was just another day in the life. From gladiators who ate like modern-day vegans to public toilets that doubled as social hubs, the Romans had a knack for turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. In this video, we're diving into 25 of the most jaw-dropping, head-scratching facts about ancient Rome that you've probably never heard before. So, if you're ready to uncover the strange, the shocking, and the downright unbelievable, stick around because history has never been this fascinating. Let's get started, now turning to one of the most eyebrow-raising facts about ancient Rome. Let's talk about their hygiene practices, specifically their use of urine as mouthwash. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Romans believed that urine, particularly its ammonia content, was an excellent cleaning agent. They would collect urine from public urinals, often in large pots placed on street corners, and then use it to whiten their teeth and clean their clothes. The ammonia in urine acted as a natural bleach, breaking down stains and bacteria, which is why they thought it was so effective. But this practice wasn't just limited to personal hygiene. Fullers, who were essentially the ancient equivalent of dry cleaners, would use urine to launder togas and other garments. The ammonia helped remove dirt and grease, leaving fabrics looking fresh and bright. Interestingly, this practice wasn't universally accepted. Other cultures, like the Greeks, found it bizarre and even repulsive. The Roman author Pliny the Elder even wrote about the effectiveness of urine in his works, defending its use despite the criticism. So, while it might sound shocking to us today, for the Romans, it was just another practical solution in their daily lives. As we move forward, you'll see that this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the strange and fascinating world of ancient Rome. Now shifting our focus to the arena, let's uncover a surprising fact about the legendary gladiators of ancient Rome. They were primarily vegetarian. Yes, these fierce warriors, often depicted as meat-eating brutes, actually followed a diet rich in grains, beans, and vegetables. This plant-based regimen was believed to enhance their strength and endurance, which were crucial for surviving the brutal battles in the Colosseum. Archaeological evidence, particularly from bone analysis, supports this claim. Researchers studying the remains of gladiators found high levels of strontium and calcium, indicating a diet heavy in barley, lentils, and other plant-based foods. These findings suggest that gladiators consumed a carbohydrate-rich diet, which provided them with sustained energy for their physically demanding fights. Interestingly, this diet was sometimes referred to as the gladiator diet or barley men diet, as barley was a staple. They also drank a special ash-infused drink believed to strengthen their bones and aid recovery after combat. While it might seem counterintuitive to modern audiences, this plant-based approach was seen as a way to build stamina and resilience, proving that the Romans had a unique understanding of nutrition long before the concept of modern sports science. As we continue, you'll see that the gladiators' lifestyle was just as fascinating as their battles, filled with unexpected details that challenge our assumptions about ancient Rome. Now turning to the dining tables of ancient Rome, let's explore a truly peculiar culinary tradition. Dormice were considered a luxury delicacy. Yes, these small, nocturnal rodents were not just pests to the Romans, but a prized dish reserved for the elite. Dormice were so highly valued that they were raised in special containers called gliraria, which were designed to mimic their natural habitat. These jars, often made of clay or terracotta, had small holes for ventilation and were filled with nuts, fruits, and other foods to fatten the dormice before they were served. The preparation of dormice was an art in itself. After being fattened, they were typically stuffed with a mixture of minced meat, spices, and herbs, then roasted or baked. Some recipes even called for coating them in honey and poppy seeds, creating a sweet and savory dish that was as extravagant as it sounds. This practice wasn't just about indulgence, it was a symbol of wealth and status. Serving Dormice at a banquet was a way for hosts to flaunt their sophistication and access to rare ingredients. The cultural significance of eating Dormice goes beyond mere extravagance. It reflects the Roman fascination with exotic and unusual foods, as well as their desire to impress guests with culinary ingenuity. While it might seem bizarre to modern tastes, this practice offers a fascinating glimpse into the opulent and inventive world of Roman cuisine. As we move forward, you'll see that the Romans' appetite for the unusual didn't stop at Dormice. Their culinary habits were as diverse and surprising as their empire itself. Now shifting our focus to the more public aspects of Roman life, let's step into the world of Roman public toilets, a space that was far more than just a place to relieve oneself. These communal latrines, known as foraci, were bustling social hubs where Romans gathered not only to take care of business but also to chat, network, and even conduct deals. Imagine a row of stone or marble benches with evenly spaced holes where people sat side by side, completely unbothered by the lack of privacy. This open setup was a reflection of the Roman attitude toward communal living, where even the most private activities were shared experiences. The design of these public toilets was both practical and, by modern standards, quite shocking. The benches were positioned over a channel of running water, which carried waste away into the city's elaborate sewer system. But what might surprise you most is the cleaning method. Romans used a shared sponge on a stick called a tersorium, which was dipped in a bucket of salt water or vinegar and passed from person to person. While this might make us cringe today, it was a practical solution for the time, though it certainly raises questions about hygiene by modern standards. Beyond the physical design, the social implications of these spaces are fascinating. Public toilets were not just functional, they were places where people from all walks of life could interact. Senators, merchants, and ordinary citizens might find themselves sitting side by side, exchanging news, gossip, or even negotiating business deals. This level of social interaction in such an unlikely setting highlights the Romans' comfort with communal living and their ability to turn even the most mundane activities into opportunities for connection. The communal nature of Roman toilets also reflects broader cultural values. In a society that placed great importance on public life and civic engagement, even the most private moments were shared. This practice underscores the Romans' emphasis on community and their ability to integrate every aspect of life into their social fabric. As we continue to uncover the quirks of ancient Rome, it's clear that their approach to daily life was as innovative as it was unconventional. Now turning to the vibrant world of Roman fashion, let's explore the color that defined power and prestige in ancient Rome: purple. This rich, luxurious hue wasn't just a fashion statement, it was a symbol of status, wealth, and authority. But what made purple so special? The answer lies in its origins. Roman purple dye, known as Tyrian purple, was extracted from the secretions of a rare sea snail called the murex. Harvesting this dye was an incredibly labor-intensive process, requiring thousands of snails to produce just a small amount of pigment. This made purple fabric astronomically expensive, far beyond the reach of ordinary citizens. The rarity and cost of purple dye led to strict laws regulating its use. In fact, wearing purple was a privilege reserved for the elite, specifically Roman senators and emperors. The emperor himself often wore a toga entirely dyed in purple, known as the toga picta, during ceremonial occasions. This exclusivity turned purple into a powerful status symbol, instantly signaling the wearer's high rank and influence. Even the borders of senators' togas, called laticlavi, were adorned with purple stripes to signify their authority. Beyond its association with power, purple also held deep cultural significance. It was linked to divinity and immortality, often used in religious ceremonies and to adorn statues of gods. The color's connection to the sea from which it was derived also tied it to themes of mystery and the unknown. Over time, purple became so intertwined with Roman identity that its use was carefully guarded, with penalties for those who dared to wear it without permission. The legacy of Roman purple extends far beyond the ancient world. Its association with royalty and luxury has persisted for centuries, influencing everything from medieval monarchs to modern fashion. As we uncover more about ancient Rome, it's clear that even something as simple as a color could carry profound meaning, shaping the way people saw themselves and others. Next, we'll delve into another remarkable aspect of Roman ingenuity: their roads, which were so well built that some are still in use today. Now, shifting our focus to the ground beneath their feet, let's explore one of ancient Rome's most enduring legacies: their roads. The Romans didn't just build roads, they engineered masterpieces that have stood the test of time. In fact, some of these ancient pathways are still in use today, a testament to their incredible craftsmanship and foresight. But what made Roman roads so extraordinary? The secret lies in their meticulous construction techniques and innovative design. Roman roads were built to last, and they started with a solid foundation. Engineers would dig a deep trench and fill it with layers of materials, each serving a specific purpose. The bottom layer, called the stotumen, was made of large stones to provide stability. Above that, they added a layer of crushed gravel or sand, known as the ruderatio, to create a level surface. The top layer, or summa crusta, consisted of tightly packed stones or paving blocks, carefully fitted together to form a smooth, durable surface. This multi-layered approach ensured the roads could withstand heavy traffic, harsh weather, and the passage of time. But the genius of Roman roads didn't stop there. They also incorporated advanced drainage systems to prevent water from pooling and damaging the structure. Roads were slightly curved in the middle, a design called cambering, which allowed rainwater to run off into ditches on either side. This not only preserved the road but also made travel safer and more reliable, even during storms. The impact of these roads on Roman society was immense. They connected cities, provinces, and even distant territories, creating a vast network that spanned the empire. This network facilitated trade, allowing goods like grain, wine, and olive oil to flow freely across regions. It also played a crucial role in military strategy, enabling armies to move quickly and efficiently to defend or expand the empire. In many ways, Roman roads were the veins that kept the empire alive and thriving. Today, the remnants of these ancient highways serve as a reminder of Rome's engineering prowess. From the famous Appian Way to lesser-known paths, these roads continue to inspire awe and admiration. As we walk in the footsteps of the Romans, we can't help but marvel at their ability to create something so enduring. Next, we'll uncover another fascinating aspect of Roman life: their belief in the supernatural and the mysterious practice of cursed tablets. Now, turning to the mysterious and supernatural side of ancient Rome, let's delve into the fascinating world of cursed tablets. The Romans had a unique way of dealing with their frustrations, rivalries, and even legal disputes by writing their grievances on small sheets of lead and tossing them into wells, rivers, or sacred temples. These so-called cursed tablets or depictions were believed to carry their messages directly to the gods or spirits, who would then enact vengeance or justice on their behalf. The curses themselves ranged from the deeply personal to the highly specific. Some were aimed at romantic rivals, cursing them to lose their charm or fall out of favor. Others targeted business competitors, hoping to ruin their trade or bring them financial ruin. There were even curses related to legal battles, where individuals would ask the gods to silence their opponents or sway the judgment in their favor. The language used on these tablets was often direct and forceful, reflecting the intensity of the emotions behind them. What makes these cursed tablets so intriguing is what they reveal about Roman beliefs in the supernatural. The act of writing a curse and depositing it in a sacred or watery place was thought to activate its power, as water and temples were seen as gateways to the divine. The Romans believed that the gods and spirits could intervene in human affairs, and these tablets were a way to seek their help or at least vent their frustrations in a way that felt meaningful. Archaeologists have uncovered thousands of these tablets across the Roman Empire, offering us a glimpse into the everyday worries and conflicts of ordinary people. From broken hearts to bitter rivalries, these curses show us a side of Roman life that was deeply personal and often filled with raw emotion. They remind us that, despite their advancements in engineering and law, the Romans were also a people deeply connected to their superstitions and the unseen forces they believed shaped their world. As we move forward, we'll explore another curious aspect of Roman spirituality: their worship of a goddess who presided over one of the most essential yet overlooked parts of their city, the sewers. Now shifting our focus to the divine guardians of Rome's infrastructure, let's uncover the story of Closina, the goddess who presided over one of the city's most vital yet unglamorous systems, the sewers. Yes, you heard that right. The Romans had a deity specifically dedicated to their sewer network, known as the Cloaca Maxima, which was one of the earliest and most advanced sewage systems in the ancient world. Closina wasn't just a goddess of sanitation. She also symbolized purity and cleanliness, embodying the Romans' belief that even the most mundane aspects of life deserved divine protection. The Cloaca Maxima itself was a marvel of engineering, designed to drain the marshy areas of Rome and carry waste away from the city. It was so effective that parts of it are still in use today. Closina's role in overseeing this system highlights how the Romans viewed their infrastructure as sacred, a testament to their ingenuity and their desire to maintain order in both the physical and spiritual realms. She wasn't just a practical figure, she was a symbol of Rome's ability to transform chaos into civilization. Worship of Closina was deeply intertwined with daily life. Romans would offer prayers and small sacrifices to her, often at shrines located near the entrances to the sewers. These rituals weren't just about seeking her protection for the city's sanitation. They were also acts of gratitude for the health and prosperity that a well-functioning sewer system brought to the community. In a way, Closina's worship reflects the Romans' understanding of the connection between cleanliness, health, and societal well-being. What makes Closina particularly fascinating is her dual identity. While she was associated with the sewers, she was also linked to purity and purification rituals. This duality shows how the Romans saw sanitation not just as a practical necessity, but as a form of spiritual cleansing. By honoring Closina, they acknowledged the importance of maintaining both physical and moral cleanliness in their society. As we move ahead, we'll explore another surprising aspect of Roman life: their beauty standards, which, as it turns out, were as dangerous as they were glamorous. Now turning to the world of Roman beauty, we uncover a practice that was as perilous as it was glamorous. In ancient Rome, the pursuit of beauty often came at a deadly cost. Romans, particularly women, used lead-based cosmetics to achieve the pale, flawless complexion that was considered the height of elegance. These cosmetics, known as cerasa, were made from white lead and applied generously to the face, neck, and even arms. The result was a striking, ghostly pallor that symbolized wealth and refinement, as only the elite could afford such luxuries. But this beauty standard had a dark side. Lead, as we now know, is highly toxic. Prolonged use of these cosmetics led to severe health issues, including lead poisoning, which could cause everything from skin lesions and hair loss to organ damage and even death. Some historians believe that the widespread use of lead-based makeup may have contributed to the declining health of Roman nobility over time. Yet, despite the risks, the allure of these cosmetics persisted, driven by societal pressures to conform to rigid beauty ideals. The use of poisonous makeup also reflects the Romans' complex relationship with appearance and status. A pale complexion was not just a sign of beauty, it was a marker of privilege, indicating that one did not labor outdoors under the sun. This ideal was so deeply ingrained that even the health risks were overlooked in favor of maintaining a prestigious image. The lengths to which Romans went to achieve this look reveal how deeply beauty standards were tied to social hierarchy and identity. Interestingly, the dangers of lead-based cosmetics were not entirely unknown in ancient Rome. Some physicians and scholars warned against their use, but these warnings were often ignored or dismissed. The desire to meet societal expectations outweighed concerns about personal health, a phenomenon that in many ways mirrors modern struggles with beauty standards. As we move forward, we'll delve into another fascinating Roman tradition, one that turned the social order upside down and celebrated chaos in the most unexpected way. Now shifting our focus to a celebration that defied the rigid social structures of ancient Rome, we arrive at the Saturnalia festival. This annual event, held in honor of the god Saturn, was a time of revelry, role reversal, and temporary chaos. For a few days each December, the strict hierarchies of Roman society were turned upside down, creating a world where slaves became masters and masters served their servants. It was a rare moment of freedom and equality in a society built on inequality. The origins of Saturnalia date back to Rome's early agricultural roots, when it was a harvest festival celebrating the bounty of the land. Over time, it evolved into a much larger celebration, blending religious rituals with social upheaval. During Saturnalia, businesses and schools closed, and the city came alive with feasting, gambling, and gift-giving. The most striking feature, however, was the temporary suspension of social norms. Slaves were allowed to speak freely, dine with their masters, and even give orders. Meanwhile, masters would serve meals to their slaves, a symbolic act that acknowledged their shared humanity, if only for a brief period. This inversion of roles wasn't just about fun, it served a deeper cultural purpose. By allowing slaves to experience freedom and masters to step into a servant's shoes, Saturnalia reinforced the stability of the social order the rest of the year. It acted as a pressure valve, releasing tensions that might otherwise have boiled over. The festival also highlighted the Romans' belief in balance and the cyclical nature of life, where order and chaos coexisted in harmony. The cultural impact of Saturnalia extended far beyond its immediate festivities. Many of its traditions, such as gift-giving and feasting, influenced later celebrations, including Christmas. The spirit of Saturnalia, its emphasis on joy, generosity, and equality, resonated through the ages, leaving a lasting legacy on Western culture. As we continue our journey through the bizarre and fascinating world of ancient Rome, we'll uncover yet another surprising aspect of their daily lives, one that reveals their ingenuity and creativity in ways you might not expect. Now turning to a remarkable innovation that showcases the ingenuity of ancient Rome, we explore the hypocaust system, an early form of central heating that revolutionized comfort in Roman baths and wealthy homes. Imagine stepping into a toasty room on a chilly winter day, thanks to an advanced heating system that predates modern technology by centuries. The Romans didn't just endure the cold, they mastered it. The hypocaust system worked by circulating hot air beneath the floors and through the walls of buildings. Here's how it functioned. A furnace, usually located outside the building, would heat air, which was then channeled through a network of hollow spaces under raised floors and within walls. These spaces, supported by pillars or columns, allowed the heat to spread evenly, warming the rooms above. The floors and walls, often made of materials like tile or stone, retained the heat, creating a cozy environment even in the coldest months. This system wasn't just a luxury, it was a testament to Roman engineering prowess. The hypocaust was particularly popular in public baths, where maintaining a consistent temperature was essential for comfort and hygiene. Wealthy Romans also adopted it in their private villas, turning their homes into warm retreats. The hypocaust's efficiency and sophistication were unmatched for its time, and its principles laid the groundwork for modern central heating systems. The influence of the hypocaust extended far beyond ancient Rome. Its design inspired heating technologies in later civilizations, including medieval Europe and the Islamic world. Even today, the concept of circulating warm air through spaces beneath floors and within walls echoes in contemporary heating systems, proving that Roman innovation was truly ahead of its time. As we marvel at this ancient feat of engineering, we're reminded of how the Romans transformed everyday life with their creativity and resourcefulness. Next, we'll uncover another surprising aspect of Roman ingenuity, one that reveals their unique approach to health and medicine. Now shifting our focus to the realm of Roman medicine, we uncover a practice that might seem shocking to modern sensibilities: the use of animal blood as a treatment for various ailments. In ancient Rome, medical practices were deeply intertwined with superstition, mythology, and a rudimentary understanding of the human body. One of the most unusual remedies involved the consumption or application of animal blood, particularly for conditions like epilepsy. The Romans believed that blood, especially from powerful or sacred animals, carried life force and healing properties. For instance, the blood of gladiators, who were seen as embodiments of strength and vitality, was often collected and used as a remedy. Similarly, the blood of animals like bulls or goats was thought to cure ailments ranging from seizures to skin diseases. Epilepsy, in particular, was believed to be caused by supernatural forces or imbalances in the body, and animal blood was seen as a way to restore harmony. This practice wasn't entirely random. It was rooted in the broader Roman understanding of medicine, which combined elements of Greek science, folk remedies, and religious rituals. Physicians like Galen, one of the most influential medical figures of the time, documented the use of animal-based treatments, though they often debated their effectiveness. The idea was that the essence of the animal could transfer its strength or purity to the patient, offering a form of spiritual and physical healing. While these treatments might seem bizarre today, they reflect the Romans' resourcefulness and their willingness to experiment with whatever tools they had at their disposal. It also highlights the cultural significance of blood as a symbol of life and power, a belief that permeated many aspects of Roman society. As we move forward, we'll delve into another fascinating aspect of Roman culture, one that reveals their unique approach to spirituality and the divine. Now stepping into the realm of Roman spirituality, we encounter one of the most intriguing deities in their pantheon, Janus, the two-faced god. Unlike other gods who are often associated with specific domains like war or love, Janus held a unique and symbolic role. He was the god of beginnings, transitions, and doorways, embodying the idea of looking both to the past and the future. His dual faces, one looking forward and the other backward, made him a powerful symbol of change and reflection. Janus was deeply woven into the fabric of Roman life. His name is where we get the word January, the first month of the year, marking a time of new beginnings. But his influence went far beyond the calendar. Romans believed that Janus presided over all entrances and exits, both literal and metaphorical. Doorways, gates, and arches were considered sacred spaces under his protection. This made him a guardian of thresholds, whether it was the start of a new day, the beginning of a journey, or even the transition from peace to war. In fact, the doors of the Temple of Janus in the Roman Forum were kept open during times of war and closed during peace, symbolizing the god's watchful presence over the state's transitions. This practice highlighted how deeply Romans connected Janus to the idea of change and the passage of time. He wasn't just a god of physical doorways, but also of life's pivotal moments, births, marriages, and even the start of new ventures. Janus also played a role in Roman rituals. At the beginning of any important undertaking, whether it was a religious ceremony, a military campaign, or even the planting of crops, Romans would invoke Janus to ensure a smooth transition and a favorable outcome. His dual faces reminded them to honor the past while embracing the future, a philosophy that resonated deeply in a society that valued tradition yet constantly sought progress. As we continue, we'll explore another fascinating aspect of Roman culture, one that reveals their architectural ingenuity and their fascination with foreign influences. Now shifting our gaze to the architectural marvels of ancient Rome, we come across a structure that seems almost out of place: the Pyramid of Cestius. Standing tall in the heart of Rome, this pyramid is a striking testament to the Romans' fascination with Egyptian culture. Built around 18 BC, it served as the tomb for Gaius Cestius, a wealthy Roman magistrate. But why a pyramid? During this period, Rome was captivated by all things Egyptian, especially after the conquest of Egypt by Augustus. The pyramid was a bold statement of this cultural influence, blending Roman engineering with Egyptian aesthetics. The Pyramid of Cestius is constructed from brick and concrete, then covered in gleaming white marble, giving it a majestic appearance. It rises to a height of about 120 feet, with a base measuring nearly 100 feet on each side. Its steep, angular design mirrors the pyramids of Egypt, though it's smaller in scale. Inside, the tomb features a single burial chamber, adorned with frescoes that have survived the test of time. These paintings depict scenes of Roman mythology, showcasing the blend of Roman and Egyptian artistic traditions. But the pyramid wasn't just a personal monument for Cestius. It also reflected Rome's broader obsession with Egypt, which was seen as a land of mystery and grandeur. The Romans imported obelisks, statues, and even entire temples from Egypt, incorporating them into their own cityscape. The Pyramid of Cestius was part of this trend, a symbol of Rome's imperial reach and its ability to absorb and reinterpret foreign cultures. Today, the pyramid remains one of Rome's most intriguing landmarks. Situated near the Porta San Paolo, it draws countless visitors who marvel at its unique blend of Roman and Egyptian styles. Its survival through the centuries is a testament to the durability of Roman construction and the enduring allure of ancient Egypt. As you walk around it, you can't help but feel the weight of history, a reminder of how cultures collide and inspire one another across time and space. With this glimpse into Rome's architectural ingenuity, we'll next uncover another surprising aspect of Roman life, one that reveals their resourcefulness in the face of health challenges. Now turning to a rather unusual aspect of Roman medicine, we uncover a practice that might make modern audiences cringe: the use of feces in medical treatments. Yes, you heard that right. The Romans believed that human and animal waste held powerful healing properties, and they incorporated it into remedies for a variety of ailments, from headaches to infections. While this might sound shocking today, it's important to understand the cultural and scientific context behind these practices. In ancient Rome, medicine was deeply intertwined with superstition and observation. Physicians and healers often relied on natural substances, believing that everything in nature had a purpose, even waste. Animal dung, particularly from cows, goats, and even mice, was thought to have antiseptic and anti-inflammatory properties. For example, mouse droppings were sometimes mixed with honey and applied to wounds to prevent infection. Similarly, human feces were used in concoctions to treat headaches, toothaches, and even epilepsy. One particularly bizarre remedy involved burning dried feces and inhaling the smoke to relieve respiratory issues. The Romans weren't alone in their use of waste for healing. Similar practices can be found in other ancient cultures, including Egypt and Greece. However, the Romans took it a step further by systematizing these treatments in medical texts. Prominent Roman physicians like Galen and Pliny the Elder documented the use of feces in their writings, offering detailed instructions on how to prepare and apply these remedies. While some of these treatments may have had limited effectiveness, such as the antibacterial properties of certain animal wastes, others were likely more harmful than helpful, especially when it came to ingesting or inhaling waste products. This practice also reflects the Romans' pragmatic approach to health. With limited understanding of germs and disease, they relied on trial and error, often turning to what was readily available. Waste, being abundant and free, became a resource in their medical toolkit. It's a stark reminder of how far medical science has come, but also a fascinating glimpse into the ingenuity and resourcefulness of ancient societies. As we move forward, we'll explore another surprising Roman tradition, one that reveals their deep connection to the afterlife and their ancestors. Now shifting our focus to the spiritual side of Roman life, we uncover a fascinating tradition that reveals their deep reverence for the dead, the Parentalia festival. This 9-day event, held annually in February, was a time for Romans to honor their ancestors and ensure their spirits remained at peace. Unlike many modern celebrations, Parentalia was a solemn and reflective occasion, emphasizing the importance of family ties and the continuity of life beyond death. During Parentalia, families would visit the graves of their loved ones, bringing offerings of food, wine, and flowers. These gifts were not just symbolic, they were believed to nourish and comfort the spirits of the deceased. Romans thought that by tending to their ancestors' needs, they could maintain a harmonious relationship with the afterlife. Public temples were closed during this period, and marriages were forbidden, as the focus was entirely on private family rituals. It was a time for quiet remembrance, where the living and the dead were thought to be in closer communion. The festival also reflected the Roman belief in the ongoing presence of their ancestors in daily life. They saw the dead not as distant or forgotten, but as active participants in the family's fortunes. Neglecting these rituals was considered a grave offense, as it could anger the spirits and bring misfortune. This deep connection to the afterlife highlights the Romans' view of death as a natural part of existence, one that required respect and care. Parentalia wasn't just about honoring the dead, it was also a way to reinforce family bonds among the living. By gathering to remember their ancestors, Romans strengthened their sense of identity and continuity. This blend of reverence, tradition, and community made Parentalia a cornerstone of Roman spiritual life, offering a unique window into their beliefs about mortality and legacy. As we continue, we'll delve into another curious aspect of Roman daily life, one that might make you rethink your modern bathroom habits. Now turning to a rather unusual aspect of Roman daily life, let's talk about something that might make you rethink your modern bathroom habits: the tersorium, or as it's more commonly known, the sponge on a stick. This peculiar tool was the Roman equivalent of toilet paper, and its use in public toilets offers a fascinating glimpse into their sanitation practices. In Roman public toilets, which were often bustling social spaces, the tersorium was a shared tool for personal hygiene. After using the facilities, individuals would dip the sponge end of the stick into a bucket of water, or sometimes vinegar or salt water, and use it to clean themselves. The same tersorium would then be rinsed and left in the bucket for the next person to use. While this might sound shocking by today's standards, it was a practical solution in a society that valued communal living and resourcefulness. The hygiene implications of this practice, however, are hard to ignore. Sharing a single sponge among multiple people, even with rinsing, would have been a breeding ground for bacteria and disease. Yet, the Romans seemed to accept this as a normal part of life, perhaps due to their limited understanding of germ theory. They believed that the rinsing process was sufficient to keep the tersorium clean, though modern science would certainly disagree. Comparing this to modern sanitation methods, it's clear how far we've come. Today, disposable toilet paper, bidets, and other personal hygiene products are designed to minimize the spread of germs and ensure individual cleanliness. The Romans' approach, while innovative for its time, highlights the stark differences between ancient and contemporary views on hygiene and public health. As we move forward, we'll explore another intriguing Roman belief, one that involves interpreting the future through the flight patterns of birds. Stay tuned. Now shifting our focus to the skies above ancient Rome, let's delve into the fascinating world of augury, a practice where priests, known as augurs, interpreted the flight patterns of birds to predict the future. This ancient form of divination was deeply woven into the fabric of Roman society, influencing everything from political decisions to military strategies. The Romans believed that the gods communicated their will through the behavior of birds, and it was the job of the augurs to decode these divine messages. Different birds held different meanings. For example, eagles were seen as symbols of Jupiter, the king of the gods, and their appearance was often interpreted as a sign of favor or victory. On the other hand, vultures or owls were considered ominous, signaling potential danger or misfortune. The direction of a bird's flight, the number of birds, and even the sounds they made were all carefully analyzed to determine whether the gods approved or disapproved of a particular action. This practice wasn't just a matter of superstition, it had real-world consequences. Before major political decisions, such as elections or the passing of laws, Roman leaders would consult the augurs to ensure the gods were on their side. Similarly, military commanders often delayed or advanced their campaigns based on the omens they received. A favorable sign could boost morale and inspire confidence, while an unfavorable one might lead to postponements or even the abandonment of plans. What's particularly intriguing is how seriously the Romans took these interpretations. Augury was considered a science, and the augurs themselves were highly respected figures in Roman society. Their readings were seen as essential for maintaining the favor of the gods and ensuring the prosperity of the state. Even skeptics within Rome had to publicly respect the practice, as disregarding the omens could be seen as an act of impiety with potentially disastrous consequences. As we move forward, we'll uncover another curious aspect of Roman life, one that involves a goddess who protected the very hinges of doors. Stay tuned to learn more about the divine guardians of everyday Roman life. Now turning to the quieter yet equally fascinating corners of Roman mythology, let's meet Cardia, the goddess of door hinges and thresholds. While she might not be as well known as Jupiter or Mars, Cardia played a crucial role in the everyday lives of Romans, safeguarding their homes and symbolizing the boundaries between the outside world and the private sanctuary of the household. Cardia's domain was the threshold, the literal and symbolic line separating the public from the private. In Roman culture, thresholds were considered sacred spaces, vulnerable to both physical and spiritual intrusion. Cardia was believed to protect these entry points, ensuring that no harm, whether from thieves or malevolent spirits, could cross into the home. Her presence was especially invoked during important domestic rituals, such as weddings or the birth of a child, when the sanctity of the home was most valued. Worship of Cardia often involved simple yet meaningful acts. Romans would hang garlands of flowers or herbs like hawthorn on their doorways as offerings to her. These decorations weren't just decorative, they were believed to carry protective powers, warding off evil and inviting Cardia's blessings. In some traditions, she was also associated with the turning of the year, symbolizing transitions and new beginnings, much like the hinges she presided over. What makes Cardia particularly intriguing is how her role reflects the Roman emphasis on the home as a sacred space. For Romans, the household was not just a physical structure, but a microcosm of order and stability in a chaotic world. Cardia's protection of thresholds reinforced this idea, reminding people that even the smallest details of daily life were imbued with divine significance. As we continue our journey through the peculiarities of ancient Rome, we'll next explore a practice that might make you think twice about ancient beauty standards. Stay tuned to discover how Romans used human sweat as perfume. Now shifting our focus to the peculiar beauty rituals of ancient Rome, let's delve into a practice that might leave you both fascinated and slightly bewildered. The Romans had a rather unusual habit of collecting human sweat, particularly from gladiators, and using it as a form of perfume or even a love potion. Yes, you heard that right. Sweat was considered a luxury item in Roman society, and it was believed to carry powerful properties. Gladiators, as symbols of strength, endurance, and masculinity, were idolized by the Roman public. Their sweat, collected after intense battles in the arena, was seen as imbued with their vitality and vigor. This made it highly desirable, especially among women who sought to harness these qualities for themselves. Vendors would gather the sweat from gladiators' bodies, often mixing it with oils or other fragrances to create a unique scent. These concoctions were then sold as perfumes or aphrodisiacs, believed to attract love and enhance one's allure. The cultural significance of this practice reveals a lot about Roman values. Strength and virility were highly prized, and the sweat of gladiators was thought to transfer these traits to those who used it. It wasn't just about the physical scent, it was about the symbolic power it carried. Romans believed that by wearing this sweat, they could absorb the bravery and charisma of these celebrated fighters. This bizarre beauty trend also highlights the Romans' fascination with the human body and its potential as a source of both physical and spiritual power. While it might seem strange to us today, it underscores how deeply intertwined their ideas of beauty, strength, and even romance were with their cultural ideals. As we move forward, prepare to uncover another astonishing feat of Roman ingenuity: the giant Colosseum flooding system, where the arena was transformed into a stage for mock naval battles. Stay tuned to learn how the Romans pulled off this incredible engineering marvel. Now turning to one of the most jaw-dropping engineering feats of ancient Rome, let's explore how the Colosseum wasn't just a stage for gladiatorial combat, it was also a venue for epic mock naval battles. Yes, the Romans managed to flood the entire arena to recreate sea battles, and the secret to this incredible spectacle lay beneath the floor in a complex underground system known as the hypogeum. The hypogeum was a labyrinth of tunnels, chambers, and elevators hidden beneath the Colosseum's floor. This intricate network wasn't just for storing animals, props, or gladiators. It was also designed to channel vast amounts of water into the arena. To flood the space, engineers would divert water from nearby aqueducts into the hypogeum, where it would then be released into the arena through a series of carefully controlled channels. The result, a massive, shallow pool that transformed the Colosseum into a temporary naval battlefield. These mock sea battles, known as naumatia, were among the most extravagant forms of entertainment in ancient Rome. They often reenacted famous historical or mythological naval conflicts, complete with ships, sailors, and even special effects like simulated storms. The sheer scale of these events was staggering, with some accounts suggesting that hundreds of participants and multiple ships could be involved in a single battle. The engineering behind this system was nothing short of revolutionary. The Romans had to ensure the arena could hold water without damaging the structure, which required precise calculations and advanced construction techniques. The hypogeum's drainage system was equally impressive, allowing the water to be quickly removed so the arena could be used for other events. Beyond the technical marvel, these naval battles reveal the Romans' love for spectacle and their ability to push the boundaries of entertainment. They weren't just showcasing their engineering prowess, they were creating unforgettable experiences that captivated audiences and reinforced Rome's dominance as a cultural and military powerhouse. As we continue, we'll uncover another fascinating aspect of Roman life: their belief in a god who presided over something as humble as fertilizer. Stay tuned to learn how even the most mundane aspects of daily life were elevated to divine status in ancient Rome. Now shifting our focus to the more humble yet vital aspects of Roman life, let's meet Sterculius, the god of fertilizer. Yes, you heard that right, even something as ordinary as manure had its own divine protector in ancient Rome. Sterculius was deeply tied to agriculture, overseeing the fertilization of crops and ensuring the fertility of the land. In a society where farming was the backbone of the economy, Sterculius symbolized the Romans' respect for the natural cycles that sustained their way of life. The Romans believed that sterculius, whose name comes from the Latin word for dung, played a crucial role in transforming waste into something valuable. Manure wasn't just waste to them, it was a vital resource that enriched the soil and ensured bountiful harvests. By honoring sterculius, the Romans acknowledged the importance of even the most unglamorous aspects of farming, showing their deep connection to the land and their understanding of sustainable practices. Sterculius also highlights the Romans' tendency to elevate everyday tasks to the realm of the divine. While other cultures might have overlooked the role of fertilizer, the Romans saw it as worthy of worship, reflecting their practical and resourceful mindset. This god's presence in Roman mythology reminds us that no aspect of life was too small or mundane to be celebrated. As we move forward, we'll explore another surprising element of Roman ingenuity: their use of lead pipes for water, a practice that had far-reaching consequences. Stay tuned to uncover how this seemingly brilliant innovation came with a hidden cost. Now turning to a darker side of Roman innovation, let's talk about their use of lead pipes for water. The Romans were pioneers in engineering, and their aqueducts and plumbing systems were marvels of their time. But here's the twist: they used lead extensively to transport water, a decision that had serious consequences. Lead was abundant, easy to mold, and durable, making it the perfect material for pipes. However, what they didn't realize was that this seemingly brilliant solution came with a hidden danger. Lead poisoning was a silent but deadly side effect of this practice. Over time, the lead would leach into the water, contaminating it and causing severe health issues for those who drank it. Symptoms ranged from abdominal pain and memory loss to more severe neurological damage. Some historians even suggest that widespread lead poisoning may have contributed to the decline of the Roman Empire, as it affected the health and cognitive abilities of its citizens, including the ruling elite. What's fascinating is that the Romans were aware of lead's toxicity to some extent. Writers like Vitruvius warned against using lead for water pipes, recommending clay or stone instead. Yet the convenience and efficiency of lead pipes made them the go-to choice for centuries. This highlights a recurring theme in Roman history: their ability to achieve incredible feats of engineering, sometimes at the cost of long-term consequences. As we reflect on this, it's a reminder that even the most advanced civilizations can make mistakes. The Romans' use of lead pipes is a cautionary tale about the unintended effects of innovation, showing how progress and peril can often go hand in hand. Next, we'll delve into another intriguing aspect of Roman beliefs: their fascination with werewolves and the myths that surrounded them. Stay tuned to uncover how these stories reveal the fears and superstitions of ancient Rome. Now shifting to the realm of myth and superstition, let's explore the Romans' fascination with werewolves. While werewolves might seem like a modern horror trope, they actually have deep roots in Roman mythology. One of the most famous stories involves Lycaon, a king who angered Jupiter, the king of the gods. According to legend, Lycaon served Jupiter a meal made from human flesh to test his divine knowledge. Horrified by this act, Jupiter punished Lycaon by transforming him into a wolf, condemning him to live as a beast for eternity. This tale not only highlights the Romans' belief in divine retribution, but also reflects their fear of the unknown and the consequences of defying the gods. Werewolves, or versipelles as the Romans called them, were more than just monsters in stories. They symbolized the thin line between civilization and savagery, a theme that resonated deeply in Roman society. The idea that a person could transform into a wild animal tapped into their anxieties about losing control and succumbing to primal instincts. These myths also served as cautionary tales, warning against immoral behavior and the dangers of hubris. Interestingly, the Romans didn't just see werewolves as fictional creatures. Some believed in the possibility of real-life transformations, often linked to curses or divine punishment. These beliefs were tied to their broader superstitions about the supernatural and the power of the gods to intervene in human lives. Stories of werewolves also appeared in Roman literature, such as the works of Ovid and Petronius, further embedding these creatures into their cultural imagination. What's striking is how these myths reveal the Romans' complex relationship with fear and morality. Werewolves weren't just monsters, they were symbols of what could happen if society's rules were broken or if the gods were angered. This blend of fear and fascination shows how deeply intertwined mythology and daily life were in ancient Rome, offering us a glimpse into their worldview. As we move forward, we'll uncover another surprising aspect of Roman culture, their celebration of prostitutes during the Floralia festival. Stay tuned to learn how this unique event reflected their attitudes towards sexuality and public entertainment. Now shifting our focus to the vibrant and unconventional celebrations of ancient Rome, let's dive into the Floralia festival. This unique event, dedicated to Flora, the goddess of flowers and fertility, was one of the most colorful and lively festivals in the Roman calendar. Held annually from late April to early May, the Floralia was a time of revelry, theatrical performances, and most notably the participation of prostitutes who played a central role in the festivities. The origins of the Floralia date back to around 238 BCE, when the Romans established the festival to honor Flora and seek her blessings for a fruitful harvest. Over time, it evolved into a celebration of not just agriculture but also human fertility and the pleasures of life. The festival was marked by games, theatrical performances, and dances, often featuring prostitutes as performers. These women, who are typically marginalized in Roman society, were given a rare opportunity to step into the spotlight, showcasing their talents and participating in the public festivities. One of the most striking aspects of the Floralia was its openness about sexuality. Prostitutes would perform in risque plays and dances, and the festival was known for its playful and sometimes raucous atmosphere. This openness reflected the Romans' pragmatic attitude toward sexuality, which they viewed as a natural and integral part of life. Unlike some later cultures that shunned public displays of sexuality, the Romans embraced it as a celebration of vitality and human connection. The Floralia also included symbolic rituals such as the scattering of flowers and the release of hares and goats, animals associated with fertility. These acts were meant to invoke Flora's favor and ensure the prosperity of the land and its people. The festival's blend of agricultural and sexual symbolism highlights the Romans' belief in the interconnectedness of nature, fertility, and human life. What makes the Floralia particularly fascinating is how it challenged societal norms. By giving prostitutes a prominent role in a public festival, the Romans acknowledged their place in society, even if it was often a controversial one. This festival serves as a reminder that Roman culture was far more complex and nuanced than we might assume, blending reverence for the gods with a celebration of human desires and pleasures. As we wrap up our journey through these 25 bizarre facts about ancient Rome, it's clear that their world was filled with surprising, often contradictory practices that continue to captivate us today. From their bizarre hygiene habits to their elaborate festivals, the Romans left behind a legacy that is as strange as it is fascinating. Don't forget to share your favorite fact in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this exploration of ancient Rome, be sure to subscribe for more historical mysteries. Thanks for watching. As we bring our journey through ancient Rome to a close, it's impossible not to marvel at the sheer strangeness and ingenuity of their world. From using urine as mouthwash to celebrating festivals where societal norms were turned upside down, the Romans were a civilization that constantly defied expectations. These 25 bizarre facts reveal a culture that was both deeply practical and wildly imaginative, blending the sacred and the profane in ways that continue to surprise us today. The Romans' ability to find utility in the unusual, whether it was animal blood as medicine or lead pipes for water, shows a society that was unafraid to experiment, even when the results were questionable by modern standards. Their festivals, like the Floralia and Saturnalia, remind us that they valued joy, community, and the celebration of life, even in its messiest forms. And their engineering marvels, from roads that lasted millennia to the Colosseum's flooding system, prove that their legacy is as much about innovation as it is about eccentricity. These facts don't just paint a picture of a civilization long gone, they challenge us to rethink our assumptions about history. The Romans were complex, contradictory, and endlessly fascinating, and their world offers a treasure trove of lessons and curiosities that still resonate today. So, what was your favorite fact? Did the Gladiators' vegetarian diet surprise you, or were you more intrigued by the idea of a goddess of sewers? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the weird and wonderful world of ancient Rome, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. There are plenty more historical mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and we can't wait to explore them with you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep history alive.